This is my first time in Copenhagen, and we're usually doing this in London. Before I starting my presentation, if anyone who is really interested, as I mentioned about, because to be honest, I don't really want to bother anyone here. So you probably can just very quick to go Google my name, and then I think you will maybe pay some attention. Otherwise, I think you're probably just quite tired to stay here to listen to see what I'm saying. So my name is John. I am the founder and the CEO of CENTI Group. We actually 6 months ago we called Coupon Networks. We are the biggest platform in terms of investment, intellectual property transfer, and technology transfer in London between China and the UK. So we've been doing these things 5 years in London. And the reason why I'm here is, as I just mentioned about, because of the Brexit, we need to attend into the new market. That's the reason I'm here. Otherwise, to be honest, I'm probably going to be staying in London for a long time. So what we do in London in the past, the reason why I'm saying this before I'm having the presentation, I just want people to know who I am and what I can do for you guys. Then we're just talking about the PPT. So it's about like 5 years ago, we as a small venture capital firm decided to go to UK to looking for some startup company which we believe they have the potential in China market. And we believe the valuation in European is very low compared with American and China. So we bring around 25 million cash, legal, it's not illegal, right, to go to London. And we spent the 25 million in the past 5 years in London. In terms of that, we built, as I mentioned, the biggest platform between UK and China. And we were doing so many things. First of all, we actually make a physical space in central London, which is 7,000 square meter in Folkestone Street, which is obviously, previously is London Stock Exchange data center. The purpose is very simple. Is we just try to wave the flag and let people to know the Chinese investor is seriously here. We bring the cash, and we want to bring anyone who have the potential to go to China market. And I'm actually doing exactly the same things right now here, to telling the people here who are really interested to go to China, or raise some money, or just expand your business. So I'm probably just talking about something. To be honest, my staff prepared this for me. It's talking about the blockchain, the trade. I think the people here must know about what is the global situation. I'm probably just talking about a little bit like domestic markets here. I'm not sure how many people been in China before. Well, all of you been there. So you probably will understand how hot the blockchain, this industry in China in 2017 and 2018. Not 2018, but 2015 from 2018. That was crazy in China. But to be honest, most of the people in China right now, not including the people who are talking about know about what's happening in the blockchain area. Most of people, when they heard about blockchain in China, they still think about only like Bitcoins, like crypto, currency stuff. So that makes the whole thing right now is a little bit tricky in China. So first of all, you guys know the ICO, because Janet told me no one know about ICO in China is illegal. But you guys know, right? You do know, right? It's like 100% illegal. So you cannot do any ICO stuff in China. Otherwise you will go to jail or something like that, for sure, yeah. So they actually don't, I thought they must be know about this. And so in this domestic thing, I was talking about 3 points, which is the increase in the industry and promoted by the influx of internet giants and implementation of the policy system by the government. So the first one, I probably will talking about this later, was talking about we've been using blockchain technology in the industry. I think China is the country who using a real blockchain into a real kind of like stuff, the most of the country. I'm not sure if you're aware about this. So we are in many industries, mainly in the fintech area or probably in the e-commerce, in the pay system, we're doing a lot into the using a lot of blockchain. I bring some stuff, to be honest. Before I'm done this presentation, I don't even know so many kind of like company. In China, right now we have 120 500 Fortune, and 46 of them has already using the blockchain technology. to doing a real product in China, which means this 46,500 Fortune provide a great opportunity to, they're looking for the technology. We're based in London. We are quite close with accelerator program in London. It's called Level 39. I'm not sure if anyone heard about that. They kind of like saying they are the best kind of like a fintech accelerator in Europe. So we are very close with them. We're helping a lot of Chinese investors try to find the best technology, the best fintech technology in London. And we're helping around 7, the one I just mentioned, the 500 Fortune, for example, the Ping An technology. No one know about this. It's the biggest insurance company in the world, the Ping An. So we also helping WeChat Pay. No one know? You know, yeah. So in China, for example, the WeChat Pay, you're just using phone in China and you do anything. I'm saying literally anything. So these kind of like a giant, they don't have in kind of like searching or deal sourcing department in European. So we kind of like helping them to sourcing the best blockchain, the fintech technology, to helping them, maybe to helping them to solve some small problem in their internal of the big corporate. And then we're talking, I just mentioned about this, of the internet giant. I think most of people understand what is BAT, right? So it's Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent. You know about this. So in China, we call it BAT. And these 3 companies, they probably occupy like 70–80% of the China blockchain. By the way, Alibaba, they actually hold the most of the IP of the blockchain in the world, compared with any company in the world. And the third point I would just mention, I will talk about this into the details later. How much I have? How many minutes I have? Like 25, right? Okay. So I try to make it very short here. So the government, it's very interesting. In the beginning, to be honest, our government are really supported doing the blockchain, and then a lot of people they starting talking about blockchain, Bitcoins, something like that. And then because of our government officer, in China, our government and our government officer is basically in charge of everything. So they are the big boss. And then when they feeling confused about what's the difference between the blockchain and Bitcoins, they starting nervous. And that's the reason in the beginning. I remember 3, 4, 5 years, I was hosting an event, that was a long time ago, in Tsinghua University. The Tsinghua is best university in China. And that time we invite the deputy mayor of the Beijing to attend in the Tsinghua to listen to, what is blockchain, how you can use in blockchain into China. But right now, it's very funny. Last year in Shanghai, we have international in Shanghai Hongqiao. That is kind of like a area in China we're talking about. That's like the word of the blockchain, whatever, silicon, something like that, right? And then the policeman was just shut down the whole event because was maybe talking about a little bit about ICO stuff. So the whole stuff in Shanghai, Hongkou area, Hongkou district, was shut down. So maybe you will be interesting to do some research about the name which I mentioned about, because they quite famous place and the things happened in China. So the government right now, President Xi, I think in last year, it's kind of like our government report was mentioned about we have to start using the blockchain. We have to figure out what is the real meaning of the blockchain. But in the meantime, we still 100% say no to ICO. And that's the reason a lot of the Chinese, is anyone know Huobi? Wow. No, it's the biggest right now, Huobi. No one know about this. I don't know what's the English name for that, Huobi. Let me just quick to check this one. Just give me a second. You must be know about this. I think the different number 2. No, Huobi. No, it's not Huawei. Sure. Does anyone know this stuff? This one? There's no way you don't know this. Really?
Sorry.
It's the second largest.
Yeah.
It's the second largest.
Big exchange.
No,
Yeah,
the
big exchange.
Who?
Exchange,
Yeah.
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 They're doing this a lot, yeah. So they are last year. They are,
Is it based in China?
no,
No,
it's
they
in
can't
Europe.
do that.
They
eh?
can't do it in
Hong
China.
Kong, Singapore.
No, they're doing a lot. Right now, they try to have open exchange everywhere.
I like
So
that.
last year, they went to London. They tried to ask us to helping them to open exchange in London because they're looking for the local partner to doing this. Because our main body is still in China, so we don't allow to do this. So they're actually looking for some local partner.
But
to
they're
doing
also in Malta. I meet them in Malta.
it. You meet them, right?
Yeah, that
So
time,
they actually come to here before.
No, I think they were trying to go to Malta because it's completely open, you know. They can just
Yeah.
have an office there.
So just want to talk about like a trend in the domestic, what's happening in the China. So basically blockchain, yes, the government want to do blockchain, but they don't know how to regulate it. They don't know how to protect people to using the name of blockchain, but doing kind of like ICO stuff. Because last year, you know, I have few friends who actually starting doing this in 2015, and they just spending like 6 months and they just become billionaires. I'm telling you, this is real. I have 2 friends who doing this, but also I have a lot of friends doing in the 6 months time, they just have nothing. You know what I mean? This is crazy in China, right? I think, are you actually from China or?
Japan.
Sorry?
Japan.
Ah, okay. So, but you know what's happening in China, right? That's crazy in China. So it's very simple. You just invest into a token fund, and then you can just, you know, exit in 6 months, and you bring like 100 times of what you've been done. So Chinese government are currently in a very, how do you say? They just don't know what to do. So we collaborate with a lot of university and some, you know, analyze. They try to create a white paper for them to telling them what you can do, what you cannot do. But to be honest, right now in China, we don't have a very, you know, completion kind of like a regulation system. So yeah, I mean, but that's the reason you're still having a lot of opportunity in China. In terms of in the later, I will show you some city. I can just show you that right now. I bring some picture. In China, we even create, but this is not going to be happen outside of China anyway, because in China, we created a lot of blockchain industry park. Can you imagine? So in Beijing, Hangzhou, Nanjing, Shanghai, Chengdu, Guangzhou, Chongqing, I'm not sure, Wuhan, you heard about this kind of city? So they have a specific, the industry park probably is like 1,000 square meter, only focus, only to attract this kind of, you know, company, technology company to go to China. So if anyone interested, I can provide more information about when you go to China, which government you should be approached, which government they are actually support you to doing your blockchain technology in China. And this is just some, you know, figure. By the way, if anyone interested about this PPT, I will just leave it to the host, and you can just send it to everyone. This is just talking about how we're doing the support is and what is the situation about regulation. This is just potential advantage. Everybody know about what is blockchain, how we can do the things. And here we go. This is the thing we are using into the blockchain into the finance sector. And I think everyone here is very familiar with here. I'm just trying to talk about more things about China. All right. So this is a race of the fintech in China. So we are currently, as you can see, all this figure. Yeah, it's very interesting. Looking to this picture. So there's, I think, it's 14 unicorns in the fintech area in the USA. It is only 8 unicorns in China, but we raise 3 times of the money compared with American in China. The main reason is very simple. It's because we have CENTI Finance. Does anyone know CENTI Finance? The biggest financial company in the world. You didn't know? It's belonged to Alibaba.
What's it called?
It's this one. I can show you. Let me show you this. This one? CENTI Finance? No one knows? It's the biggest. Yes, probably, I don't know, maybe 10, 20, 100 times bigger than like TransferWise, something like that. 100 times bigger. It's belong to Alibaba. So you have to know about this. Before you go to China, if you want to do something in China, you better know this kind of like they're giant. They're ridiculous giant. It's very simple. It's because in China, Is anyone know know the Alipay?
Yeah.
You know about that, right? That phrase that every day they created like a thousands billion. Then like one day they created thousands billion RMB. I'm talking about 1,000 billion RMB per day. During the festival, we're talking about shopping festival in 11th of November. You know about this, right? That's crazy. So that's very interesting. Anyway, I go back to the. Yeah. Okay. And then you can see in the payments area, we're using a lot, like 40%. As I mentioned, in China, people are only using, no one using Apple Pay or no one using something else. Not even UnionPay now. Because we used to be UnionPay is quite famous outside, but now everybody are using WeChat Pay and Alipay. But as I mentioned, they are still looking for some technology to improve what they're doing right now. So it's a great opportunity. They are based in London right now. I'm not sure are they going to Nordic area yet or not. I didn't heard about any of them to come to here. But the reason why I'm here is we try to looking for the technology which are, by the way, I think last year the Nordic Tech Advocates, Nordic Advocates was doing some events during the London Tech Week in London. So I think that's the same meaning for us, some reason for us. We just try to looking for the technology which is not only in the level 39, not only in the London area, but also we can find something special in Nordic area, which we can just provide them to all these giants. Okay, so this is something I want to mention about the most today, is because I believe if you are planning to do something in China, whenever you raise money or just doing some business or selling some product or expanding to China, you have to know these three companies. But these three companies, I think most of people know. But the body which they created into the financial sector, you probably not know, for example, like this one. So you can just read all through saying they are, reducing everything, insurance, they're doing everything, this one. So probably just, take some picture or maybe just get this whole PDF to understand what is the, let me think, I think I found some materials. So the Alibaba Group, right? That's currently has more than 86% of the revenues from China, but aims to generate half of their sales of overseas, which means they try to transfer their business. I think it's 36% of the business to go to the global market, and that require a lot of technology company investing to a lot of blockchain, fintech company into the outside of China. And I just mentioned about the Tencent. How many people using WeChat here?
Nobody.
Nobody? No, it's 3. But have you been tried the WeChat before?
No.
You should be trying that. That's way better than WhatsApp. I mean, there was actually, in the beginning, that was copy WhatsApp. But like 2 years ago, the WhatsApp was kind of like a copy back. So the WeChat was starting from WhatsApp. And then WhatsApp realized WeChat are way better than WhatsApp. Then WhatsApp was actually starting copy what WeChat doing right now. It's very interesting. And we're feeling, very, very, powerful of this software. And the key of the WeChat is just like a communication tool, right? It's just like a QQ, like a MSN, like all this kind of stuff. But the difference of this one is because this is very, very, this is a fix with the WeChat Pay, which in China I think everybody using like half with Alipay and half WeChat Pay, and in the same time everyone have Alipay and WeChat Pay in the same time. So the reason why they're using this because every single time if you're having any software, any apps, they have to be connected with this. Otherwise your apps just useless. You know what I mean? You have to connect with the WeChat and Alipay. Otherwise, you just like you don't get paid or no one will connect because we're getting used in China to connect with all these kind of payment system and just click and click. But to be honest, that's not very good for human beings' you know, because you spend much more money than the normal way. The Baidu, this one probably not too much people know about, is they have the Baidu financial kind of like it's called the Xiaoma, but this is belong to the Baidu. So Baidu are doing a lot of fintech stuff to promote, you know, outside of China. So, and now I just want to, the reason why I'm coming here today is probably just talking about how to help, you know, foreign players to join the China market. This could be talking about the long, we could talk in 3 days about this topic. But that's the reason I probably want to leave some time to let anyone to ask me any question about how to go into the China market. And we just want to talk about why there's opportunity and why to go to China market. It's very simple. China is going to become the biggest kind of like economic group in 2025, I guess, in six years later. Although we are doing a very slow increase now every year, it's average like around 6% per year. But still, I think in compare with the Western country, we're still having a very high increase every year. And then all these kind of like, we always mention our BAT because we just try to using them as example. In China, we have plenty of the company like BAT, but just not as big as them. We are looking for great technology because, you know, this whole thing, the fintech, the blockchain stuff is not about one country, one area. So we believe this is all connected. But in the domestic market, we are sometimes quite late about this kind of technology. And I believe this is the opportunity for a Nordic or Western or European technology company to, I'm not talking about you have to go to China to expand your business, to doing this kind of stuff. I'm just talking about you may, as a fintech company, a blockchain tech company, to understand about the biggest market. Because we all know this thing is all connected with the internet, and China is the biggest market in terms of using the internet kind of like implement kind of like technology. This is just talking about what we're doing, but I can just give you some idea. So back to what we're doing and the reason why I'm here. First of all, it's very thanks for the hosting and technology advocates asking me to come here to give a presentation to talking about the situation, what's happening in China market, and how to go into the China. I just saying most of the people been to China before, but I'm not sure it's what kind of like being China. Is it for business trip or you just like for fun? So if anyone are interested to be how do you say because what we do, I just go straight forward telling what we're doing in China. We are typical venture capital. We have two arms. So we have venture capital arm and we have the kind of like investment bank plus consulting business. It's very simple. We believe to doing a crossover to bring a foreign company to go into China market. We are doing three things. We're investing to them. We're helping them to understand about the market, which is China market. We're doing the consulting studies. In the meantime, we're helping them to raise money in China market. So we believe you have to do these three things, and you can really helping to close the deal. I mean, to be honest, for us, we just close deal. So we are operational for 5 years in London, and we helping. Our aim is very simple. We're just coming to a different area in Europe, try to find the real good technology company who are willing to expand into China market and willing to raise some money in China, and then we just doing our job to close the deal. So if anyone who is interested about China market, so go check our company, my name, and then you just go into to say what's happening in China. Plus, every year we're doing some kind of like, I know this sounds a little bit ridiculous, but our company doing a lot of trade mission. The reason is very simple, because the Chinese people didn't understand about which area. Most of them, they're investing to America, not even London or UK. That's the reason we are bringing average, I think 90 startup company back to China every year, and it's for free. From our company, we're kind of like to pay the everything in China. It's very simple because we have our clients who is the venture capital firm, private equity, sitting in China, looking for some overseas technology company. And we are not able to persuade them to come here to sometimes to say the deals. So we bring the deals back to China. And that's maybe another reason why I'm here. As I mentioned, we are trying to explore into the new market. So anyone here in Copenhagen believe you have a good technology, maybe have the potential to go to China market, we're just happy to help. That's what I want to talk to you. Thank you.